Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. Okay, I am so excited to have this conversation because you literally made like this 180-degree switch from I cannot attend the event and I'm certain about that to I'm going to find a way to make this work. So,
Yeah.
why don't you go ahead and just share like the mindset behind this, why you decided to make this pivotal step and get your ticket to the event?
Yeah. I think it was the culmination of a few things. It's funny. I had a feeling for a while that you would do some sort of in-person event. So when you announced, I was like, yes, I need to go. I'm doing it. But the way that the dates fell, the timing was just not great. My kids have their spring break like several days later, and we're going to Florida, actually, ironically, for a cruise. And so I just was like, oh, well, I probably can't pull it off. And my kids are young too. They're 3 and 6. So it's like no small deal for me to just be out of town in general. Um, and I told you this, I didn't even bring it up with my husband because I was like, it just wasn't a possibility in my mind. And I was really disappointed, but I just sort of chalked it up to like, oh, well, I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Um, but I just kept feeling this pull to find a way to go. Working with you, I've really strengthened my intuition when it comes to my relationship with food and like being able to eat intuitively, but it's really helped my intuition in general. And I used to like, for any kind of big decision, I would go back and forth and like be looking externally for the answers, asking people their opinions. And I just feel like now I've gotten so much more clear on like being able to listen to my gut. And a lot of that has had to do with my like morning routine practice that you've helped me to cultivate. Like honestly, just meditation and like prayer and sitting in silence and like listening to myself and like putting things out and then listening to the answers, which sounds like very woo-woo, but
Yeah, no, it makes
it's
sense.
true. Like,
Yep.
so I just felt like I kept hearing like the tipping point was a few weeks ago when you had us do the exercise in the academy with each other and share what we want each other woman in the group to know and like what we love and admire about each other. And it was just amazing and like this huge love fest. And I can't even talk without getting emotional about the women, but like that's why. Like we have this really intimate group, and I've shared things with these women that like my closest friends don't know.
Yeah.
Um, and we're just sort of bonded by this shared goal of becoming the best version of ourselves. And it's really like truly become a sisterhood. And so I think that exercise, I was like, I think that was the moment I was like, I need to be in the same room with these women. Like, I want to hug them. I want to experience that energy in person, like your energy in person. And even the women in the community that I don't know as well. Like I was listening to your podcast with Galia, and I was like, she
Mm,
sounds amazing. Like,
yeah.
damn, I want to meet her. Like, I think that's really what it is just being able to feed off the energy of like-minded women who have all overcome so many similar challenges to
Yeah.
me and in life and are just on the same journey of looking to continuously improve themselves. So
Totally. Yeah, that exercise was so special. Like, for those of you guys who are just listening, there was an exercise where I got everyone to just share something that they see in the other people inside of the group. And like, just to hear how other people see you, you're like, it's like sometimes we know that it's like, oh, like I am that patient person, or I am very, bold or whatever it is. But it's like to have somebody reflect that back to you, it just like anchors it in. And it's like, oh, yes, like I have to start like believing that even more and like seeing myself the way other people see me. And like that's what we're going to be doing at this event. Like
Mhm.
it's going to be intimate, it's going to be small. It's not going to be, 100-person event. It's like everyone is going to really get to see everyone who is coming. And the fact that you even feel safe to share and open, like it takes courage, it takes vulnerability to share some of the things that you've shared with us, but it's like, where else are you going to do this?
Yeah.
Like we need this place of other women that are just like, I see you, no judgment. Like I'm actually going through the exact same thing or something similar. I can relate to this, maybe not this, but I can relate to this aspect. And it really is so special. So, have you gone to any like in-person retreats, events before? Is this going to be the very first time?
No, very first. And this is, and I think that was actually another reason that like I decided to go is I've done so many scary things with
Yes.
you. You forced me to do so many scary things. Thank you, Lorna. While healing my relationship with food, whether, like the beginning, dropping food rules,
Yeah.
not weighing myself, telling my husband was like a huge thing for me. That was like the scariest thing ever. And I've done all these like little scary things
The
and
cold
they've
tub.
just, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. And so I feel like now I've done all these things to, heal my relationship with food. And now it's sort of like, I want to challenge myself in other aspects of my life and like the doing a cold plunge for the first time and yeah, this podcast, like this is totally outside my comfort zone. Like this
Yeah.
is not comfortable for me. I think it's like really I'm loving like doing these things that give me a little bit of anxiety and give me a little bit of pause because I just feel so good when I conquer it. I'm like, I can
Yes.
do this. I can do it's just like little by little building my confidence. And this was just another thing. I was like, it's totally like not in my character to be like, I'm going to a retreat with like women that I've never met in person.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like go, leave my family, like go for the weekend. It's totally like outside of my comfort zone, which scares me, but it's also exciting. And I think back to the women, it's like I do know you guys, like I
Yeah.
do, there could not be a safer space. So like it's like excited energy. It's not like scary.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always say that too. It's like, even if you haven't even met the people, it's like these are women who have the same mindset. It's like they have a hearts of gold. It's like they're on the same path. They're on the same mission. It's like it's not just like randoms from the street. It's like these
Yeah.
people are like heart centered and will love on you. And like, so it's going to obviously be like that beautiful safe place. But yeah, it's actually a huge reason why I created the event. I'm like, this is not a small move. Like Zoom calls we're all used to. Okay, come on Zoom. Oh, okay, go to this masterclass. Okay, listen to this podcast. It's like that's safe. And it is
Mhm.
transformative. You've experienced that yourself. But it's like getting your ticket, flying, being in the room, stepping out of your comfort zone, meeting these people, putting yourself out there, like that is a badass move. But that's what the event is about. It's becoming an unstoppable badass. It's not stay in
Yeah.
your home, be safe, be comfortable, don't do anything that scare you. So actually, that was a huge reason why I created this, because I'm like, I want to see the badasses that like choose to make this move. This is not for everyone. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
It there are many people that will be like, oh no, I'm scared or I'm too shy and I'm going to stay at home, and that's fine. But there are people like you that are like, yeah, maybe there's a little bit of anxiety or it's scary or whatever it is, but like, I'm going to do it. I love the challenge. And I've always seen
Hmm.
that in you with, like you said, like telling your husband and, you know, like doing all these other things, joining the programs, all the things. Like it's these badass moves one after another. And almost like you become addicted to them. It's like, ooh,
I
like what's
know.
next? And
That's
it's
how
so
I feel.
funny. It's like the first time you're like, I cannot do that. No, there's no freaking way. And then you do it. And you're like, okay, well, I can overcome that. Like, what's next for me? And this is why I always talk about you don't just get to one point in your journey and you're done.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always something.
There's always the next thing. And I'm like, what's that next thing for my community? And I'm like, this is it. So what are you most looking forward to? Like obviously there's gonna like I haven't really shared 100% of like everything. I want to like leave surprises of what we're gonna do at the event, but what are you most looking forward to?
I think just being in the energy of
Yeah.
the other women. And honestly, like I again back to like the academy, I just felt like I would be kicking myself if that like when is there going to be another opportunity um to meet these people that I've like grown to love and care about and even the ones that I haven't like
Yeah.
it's just an opportunity to I don't know learn and grow and be in their company and I'm just excited for like the actual work I'm
Mm.
excited to um I'm excited for Andrew's
Okay,
piece
more
of it
people.
and
I feel like more people are excited for him to meet him than me. Every time I talk to somebody, like, I can't wait for Andrew. I can't wait for Andrew. And I'm like, hello, it's my event.
no, you're number one, don't worry.
So funny.
Um, no, but I like I've been loving all of the work that we've been doing around like gentle nutrition and everything. So like I'm excited about that piece. But really it's just to like um it's just to be in the room, like
Yeah.
just to be together and I don't know. I like my heart is just so full even thinking about it. I'm just so excited to be there.
Energy. Yeah. Yeah. It's a whole different experience being in the room.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
you can feel like you can literally feel the energy. Like we get excited on the Zoom calls, right? We're like,
Mhm.
oh, like that's so good. But it's like being in the room is so different. And when you got your ticket, what was that feeling? Like when you like press the button to say, I'm going, like, how did you feel? Like what was going on? Like I just always love experiencing that because whenever I make a big move, I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna poo my pants, but also at like all at the same time. So what was your reaction when you're like, okay, I'm doing this and I'm actually pressing the button?
I think, well, the moment I sort of decided in my head, I was like, I need to take action. I texted my husband. I was like, I never brought this up because I just, you know, didn't think it could work. But Lorna's having this retreat. It's these dates. I can make it work with our trip. Like I just feel like I really would regret if I didn't go. And his response was, book it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't say anything else. And I was just like, okay, like we'll talk about the details, but I just, not that I needed his permission, but he said to me later, he was like, you wouldn't have asked if it wasn't important to you.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, you're right. And so I think having his support was critical, but then, yeah, buying the ticket, I just felt like excitement. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I just knew, and like, this is the right thing. That's what I felt. Is like, my
Yes.
heart was like, okay, I did it. Like, this is
Yeah.
it. I was meant to do this. I'm
Yeah.
doing it.
Like no more thinking about it, no more like,
Hmm.
you know, because it's like sometimes we want to do something and it's like we always just kind of think back and forth in our head, like, well, if I go, like, what will happen? Or if I don't go, like, there's so much noise, and it's like, if I just make the decision, it's almost you actually feel safer.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's a bold, badass move, but I always feel safer because I'm no longer in like this like limbo land of like, should I go? Should I not? Can I make it work? And you're just like, I'm gonna make that badass move. Like I'm gonna find a way. And that's also something too. Like you could have easily been like, well, I'm only gonna be there for technically one full day.
Hmm.
So there's not really a point. But you
Yeah.
still decided to like go no matter what. And like becoming an unstoppable badass is starts the moment that you decide to do something like this.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's not when we get to the event. It's like the moment you decide you're doing something like this, when it doesn't even sometimes make logical sense. It's like, like I'm going for one day and I'm flying and like it doesn't really make sense, but it also makes all the sense. Like
Yeah.
that's where the transformation starts.
100%. And exactly what you said, I felt it was almost like I was at peace.
Yes.
Like, no more having to think about it. I think I would have not been at peace if it passed by and I was like, oh God, like
Yes.
I could have found a way. Like I could have
Yes.
done it.
Yeah.
So I, yeah, I feel very, just at peace about it. And
Yeah.
I'm just excited now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't wait.
I
Counting the
know.
days.
I'm like, the countdown is on. I'm like, I first announced it, I think it was like October or something. And I'm like, it's March. I'm like, oh, wait, no more
Yeah.
like 7 months and
Yeah.
6 months. And it's like, this is the time. So
Yeah.
it's going to be so incredible with all of us together, just in the room, in person. And is there anything you would say to someone who's like, yeah, I have actually been in Liz's position, and maybe like I initially said like I couldn't go, or there was fear or doubt, and I'm kind of like going back and forth in my head. Like obviously you haven't attended yet, but you just feel this feeling of like peace and like I made the right decision. So any like words of encouragement to somebody who might be kind of like on the fence, or somebody who thinks maybe like they're not able to make it work, but you made it work, like you literally
Mhm.
are switching things around and you're making it work. Like what would you say?
I'd say a couple of things. I would say, if you think logistically it can't work, really look deep within and like do the mental math. Like, what if I did this? Or what you just ask yourself questions. And maybe it might not, happen for everyone. Like there are things that, everyone has in life and, you just can't do it. But I think if the hesitation is the discomfort or the fear or the scariness, like there's no way that anyone would regret doing this. Like you're not going to come out of this weekend and be like, I'm not, I'm not happy or I'm not better. I didn't enjoy that, Like you're going to be like, wow, I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah.
It's exactly how I've felt with all these like little micro, challenges, doing
Yeah.
things that are scary. Like you feel amazing after because you're like, I just grew my confidence a little bit. I just proved to myself that I can do hard things. And like, it's just choosing to, I think also like choosing to put yourself first is scary for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just taking that leap and like, for me, I think that was one of my hesitations was like, oh, well, I, have two young kids and that would be selfish of me to leave for the weekend and like, my husband will have to carry the weight and blah blah blah. And I was like, no, like that's not how it works. Like
Right.
I
Right.
I matter too.
Yes.
So I think
Yes.
that's a big piece of it too, is like I think we can sometimes be hesitant to s- to prioritize ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And because it's always like, well, this can't be like the me show. Like, it can't be all about me. But it's like, I always talk about this in the trainings, but it's like you prioritizing yourself. It's like you're going to come back and you're going to be better for your children. You're going to be better for
Hmm.
your husband. So it's like when I always think about that, it's like I can't not do that for myself. You know, it's, I always say it's not selfish. It's like, it's actually necessary. Like it's not even
Totally.
like, oh, like I don't know if I should like, do something for myself. It's like, no, it's like the most no-brainer thing. And you're starting to, well, you recognize that, like, even through our time together, it's like, no, I actually I need to put myself first so that I can be there for my family. And they've definitely felt your transformation. And it's like I
Hmm.
can't not continue to grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. Well, I always see you as someone who just like makes shit happen. You're stepping out of your comfort zone. When you message me, I always say this, but it's like I literally get so excited because I'm like, I just know that it's not a small move. Like I know what it takes. Like I've made so many moves myself and I'm like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. And it's like now I get to like witness that on the other side and I'm like, I know how you're feeling. So it's like I
Hmm.
want to just congratulate you for doing this, and I cannot wait to actually meet you and hug
I
you
can't wait.
in person. I know it's going to be insane. But thank you so much for coming on and also being courageous enough to do something that's not in your comfort zone, like coming on this podcast and doing this, sharing your decision to come. So, all the badass moves you've been making. So, thank you.
Thank you. All thanks to you.
Of course. Well, I will see you if you're coming on the Academy call in just a little bit. But yeah, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye.